So my name is Megan Berberick. I'm 18. Grew up in California, in the Bay Area, in this place called Wanna Creek, which is I don't really know how to describe it, but it's basically it's kind of a suburb. But not really, because I lived on the outskirts of it, so it was more not as fancy as the rest of Walnut Creek, and just 40 minutes from San Francisco, which is cool. I basically started taking pictures when I was really young because my both my parents are photographers, so my dad and my mom are both photographers, and I just grew up with them always taking pictures, and then I decided I wanted to take pictures. So by the time I was about 13, I got my first digital camera, which was really cool. I mean, it was just a little point and shoot, but it was still definitely meant a lot to me. And then I kind of stopped taking pictures. I became very depressed, and I was diagnosed with depression and bipolar disorder and anxiety, and I kind of just gave up on photography for a little bit. My parents got divorced when I was really young, so my mom lives in a place called Benicia, which is about 20 minutes from my dad's house, and I just was not good, and I was feeling very angry also, because that can happen with bipolar disorder. And so I kind of just walked out of my house, and it had just rained, and I was just walking around my neighborhood taking pictures of all this stuff, and it was very quiet because everyone was in their house. And I just walked around it was beautiful out. It was just that right after it rains, it's just the smells, and it's just beautiful. And I was walking around taking pictures of bugs that had just come out, and droplets on the leaves, and the water, because she lives near a body of water. And so I was taking pictures of that kind of stuff, and just how the wood looked right after it rained. It was wet, and everything looks very different after it rained. And by the time that I realized that I wasn't angry or depressed anymore, I was probably I walked an hour from my house. So I was pretty far away, and I was just feeling very good. And on the way back, I just kind of just sat there in silence, not on my phone, not on my camera. I walked back silently, and it was beautiful because I could hear the animals that had come out, the birds, and the waves, not huge waves, but just coming up to the shore, and all that kind of stuff. And it was just very calming and relaxing, and I don't think I've ever felt so relaxed in my life. So that was definitely the key point where I realized how much photography helped me in my life. There was a road trip. My dad and I, when we came here, because we had to drive from California, it was an 18-hour drive, which was crazy. But we drove down California and then cut across Arizona and then to here. And both my dad and I are huge photography nerds, So we're just talking about photography all the way down. And so when we got to Arizona, we camped at the Grand Canyon for the night, which was really cool. So the entire next day, we were walking around the Grand Canyon and just taking pictures and hanging out, and it was a huge form of bonding between my dad and I, because we don't always get along, but with photography, it's definitely helped us to bond and have something in common with each other that we both really like doing. And I don't think there's been any time when we're both taking pictures, either on a hike or just walking around or that kind of thing, that we've ever fought. So I think it's definitely helped me in that way too.